Chapter 6611. When Tawana was fanatically worshipping Charlie. Mitsui Yoshitoka was shocked and relieved to see that Charlie had controlled the situation. He let out a long breath, gave Charlie a thumbs up, and praised. "Mr. Wade is really amazing. I didn't expect that so many well-trained warriors were not your opponents to you." Charlie glanced at him and said coldly, "All these bodies have to be handled by you. Remember, you must handle them cleanly and don't leave any clues. Even if you leave clues, don't cause me any unnecessary trouble. Do you understand?" Mitsui Yoshitoka saw more than a dozen people die in one breath, and he was a little overwhelmed. It's not that his family has never had people deal with corpses, but they have never had so many people dealt with at once. Moreover, this is in the downtown area of Tokyo. Dealing with these corpses may be a tricky problem. However, before this, his daughter had made a promise to Charlie. If he didn't deal with this matter cleanly, he was afraid that his daughter would look down on him. What's more, his daughter also told Charlie that if he couldn't handle it well, she would sever the father-daughter relationship with him. Although his daughter looked quiet and weak, she was always firm in her character. If she could say it, she would definitely do it. So, he could only bite the bullet and say, "Don't worry, Mr. Wade, I will definitely deal with all these bodies." Charlie said, "In addition, except for the blind man. I will find a way to transport all the living people to the Middle East. You don't need to worry about where to go. After passing the Suez Canal, you can contact me and I will arrange someone to pick them up." For Charlie, although he could kill all these warriors, there was no need to do so. First of all, they didn't want to kill him, so there was no need for him to kill them here. Secondly, these warriors were all trained hard since childhood. And they were definitely good at hard work. They were cheap laborers who didn't need money. And they were high-quality laborers. How could they be let go? So they were simply transported to the headquarters of Cataclysmic Front, where there was plenty of work for them to do. Mitsui Yoshitoka couldn't understand what Charlie was thinking. In terms of workload and difficulty, it would be much easier to kill all these people than to quietly transport them across the border. The key point is that the Middle East is not always peaceful. What does Charlie mean by asking him to transport people there? However, at this time, he couldn't ask Charlie what he wanted these people to do in the Middle East. So he could only agree helplessly and said, "Don't worry, Mr. Wade, I will arrange everything." Charlie nodded and said, "Let's do this. In order to prevent you from not paying attention to your work and to prevent you from making mistakes, you first pay a deposit of $5 billion to me. This deposit will be kept here for 3 years without interest. After 3 years, if there are no remaining problems in this matter, I will return the $5 billion to you intact. If you don't handle it cleanly and bring me unnecessary trouble, then this money will be used as compensation for my losses." Everyone at the scene, including Mitsui Yoshitoka, was stunned by Charlie's words. What is the concept of $5 billion? Even if 10 Nasdaq-listed companies work hard for a year, they may not have such a large net profit. Judging from the current rate of return of US dollar funds in the financial market, such a large amount of cash, even if it is the most mindless and safest way to earn interest, can at least earn 5 points a year, which is $250 million. 3 years, calculating the compound interest, the interest is almost $780 million. The Mitsui family is a global investment. Not only can they easily take out $5 billion, however, they can also easily use this $5 billion to earn more than 10 points of return every year. If it is according to what Charlie said, the Mitsui family will have to give up at least $780 million in interest. This means that they will have to pay Charlie a total of $780 million in the next 3 years. This is the case when things are done well and without any mistakes. If it is not done well, even the $5 billion principal will be gone. Mitsui Yoshitoka wanted to cry but had no tears. He was a businessman, and businessmen paid attention to business. To put it bluntly, they only see benefits. When they see benefits, they will instinctively strive to maximize benefits. And when they see losses, they will instinctively strive to minimize losses. In his opinion, Charlie's request for him to pay a deposit is a loss in itself. But in this situation, he certainly cannot refuse him. So he has to find a way to minimize his losses as much as possible. So he said to Charlie, "Mr. Wade, our family is also very strong and has a high reputation in Tokyo. So you can rest assured about this matter. I will definitely be able to do it perfectly." Charlie nodded and said casually, "I know, I also believe in you. So as long as you can guarantee that there will be no problems within 3 years, I will return the deposit to you without a cent missing." Then, Charlie asked him directly, "Do you think this deposit is a bit too much and you can't afford it?" Mitsui Yoshitoka was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Charlie to say what he thought directly. He did think that the deposit was too much, but why did Charlie add at the end of this sentence that he couldn't afford it? Isn't this a complete mockery of himself? How could he, the head of the Mitsui family, not be able to afford a deposit of $5 billion? This is equivalent to forcing himself to grit his teeth and accept it.